Hey everybody, my name is Patrick Dykstra, and I'm the host of Chasing Ocean Giants. Chasing Ocean Giants is an 8-part series that follows my journey all over the globe to document and film some of the biggest animals to ever inhabit the earth. I wasn't always an explorer and adventurer. In fact, I was a corporate lawyer for many years, sitting at a desk, working in an office, drafting big contracts. It couldn't be more different than the life I have now. I had this window in my office, and I'd look out that window, and I couldn't quite see the ocean, but it wasn't very far away. I was working in Los Angeles, and as I was working, I'd look out that window and think, I really belong out there. That's where I want to be. Sitting at this desk is tough, but I had to do it. I had to make money, and being a corporate lawyer was a good way to do that. So I spent almost 8 years working at a big law firm before I finally cashed it all in and quit and started full-time exploring the oceans. It was always a passion of mine, and I spent a lot of days a year out at sea and filming and photographing whales and trying to understand their behavior, interacting with manta rays, dolphins. I just found them so fascinating. I think my fascination with whales started, I know that it started when I was about 17 years old and I visited the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. And I remember walking through the Smithsonian, and I came around the corner and I saw this life-size replica of a blue whale hanging from the ceiling. And I looked at that and I thought, that can't actually be the real size of an animal. That's too big. That's bigger than an aircraft. This model must just be a mock-up, but not actually the real size of a blue whale. So I walked over and I took a look. There were 2 plaques at the bottom, and one of them said a timeline of life on Earth, and it showed a timeline, and it said, here's when we think single-cell organisms evolved. And then way at the end of the timeline, it said, here's where we think blue whales evolved. And then way at the very, very end, just a teeny little sliver, it said, this is when we think humans evolved. And I looked over at the other plaque, and it said, blue whales are the biggest animal to ever inhabit the planet. Bigger than even the biggest long-extinct dinosaur. And right then, at 17 years old, I thought, wow. I am so lucky to be alive and on this earth at the same time as the biggest animal to ever inhabit the planet. It's not some long extinct dinosaur that I would never have a chance to actually see in person. It's the blue whale, and they're here at a time when I'm here. And I just made a mental note that day. I thought someday, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but someday I'm going to swim beside a blue whale and just feel that awesome size in person. And eventually, after many, many years, I found a big blue whale, and I had a very close encounter underwater, and it was really life-changing. And through the course of that mission that took almost a decade, I developed an expertise of getting very close to whales. Because throughout those trips, I didn't find blue whales most of the time, but I found humpback whales, I found sperm whales, I found pilot whales, I found whale sharks. So through lots of trial and error and traveling and working with science teams and working with film teams, all in my quest to find blue whales, I accidentally developed this expertise of getting very, very close to whales. And when I left the law firm, I've put that skill to use. So now I work with film and science teams full-time and had the immense pleasure of making Chasing Ocean Giants so that I can share some of these close encounters and some of these missions to help save the world's whales so I can help share them with you. It's not always fun and games getting very close to whales underwater. In fact, when I was in Norway a few years back, I was filming killer whales, these black and white whales, also known as orca. And I was trying to get really close to them to film them close up. And there was a time when they were feeding on herring, which is a small fish, and the herring had packed into a very tight ball. And I was floating there, filming these orca inside the herring, and then, completely unexpectedly, a different kind of whale, a humpback whale, had gone down underneath the ball of herring that the orca had pushed up to the surface. It went underneath this ball, and I never saw it. And then it came rocketing up full speed with its mouth wide open, bigger than a car, and it took the whole ball of herring right in front of my face. And it was so scary because the lower jaw of that whale is shaped like this. The jaw comes up, but that bottom jaw that almost hit me is shaped like a V, and it's solid bone. And that bone came rocketing up and closed its mouth over that herring. Thankfully, it missed me by about 2 feet, but you can see in a video that I filmed, the bottom of the whale's mouth landed right on me. It was really, really scary. The whale didn't want to hurt me, but I was inside its food. I was inside the ball of herring, so it was going to eat, and if I was in the way, well, so be it. But luckily, I managed to avoid getting down the mouth of that whale. But that was very scary. One of the scariest moments I've had at sea. Through my 20 years of going out to sea, so many hours and so many days, I've seen some big changes, and not all of those changes are good. There's more plastic in the ocean, there's more pollution, and there's just a lot more people out using the ocean and fishing going on. And so if there's a couple of things I can say to you to help preserve the world's oceans so that you can experience them and your children can experience them, it would be to be careful with how much plastic you use. The less you can use, the better. And what you do use, you should recycle. And also, if you can work towards having a more plant-based diet, not eating as much fish and beef and pork, because eating more plants and vegetables is good for the planet as a whole, and it's certainly good for the oceans. So those are just a couple of small things that all of us can do to help the Earth be more healthy. So I hope everybody has a great Earth Day, Earth Week, Earth Month, and try to live every day like it's Earth Day. Take care.